Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. 6:05, we've got some more people, so I think we'll just get started. I'll just pop on here real quick to show my face. Hi, I'm Natalie Quist. I'm an AmeriCorps volunteer with the King Conservation District, and you are tuning in to the Better Ground Ambassador Training, orientation training with King Conservation District. So I am serving with KCD as their Community Agriculture and Engagement Projects Coordinator. And I'm very excited to have you here with us and that you're interested in supporting and promoting the sustainable use of natural resources through responsible stewardship. So now I'm gonna go back to D. All right, let's get started, huh? So again, welcome. Tonight's presentation will take about 20 minutes, maybe less. Thanks for joining us on Zoom tonight. Just so you know, everyone should be on mute at present. My coworker Mark is on Zoom as well, and we'll be monitoring the chat box. So if you have questions, feel free to use the chat box. We'll try to answer questions as we go, and we'll open it up for questions at the end of the presentation. So tonight I will give you some background about KCD, who we are, and what we do, so when you get involved with KCD, you'll feel more comfortable sharing our programs with other people. During this training, I'll also provide some orientation around our presence at the 2020 Northwest Flower and Garden Show, which is taking place at the end of this month, which I hope you all will join us for. So let's get started. During and after the Civil War, the federal government gave citizens incentives to move west, which resulted with people moving into the American plains and taking up farming. In the 1920s, with low crop prices and high machinery costs, more land was put into production. And with that, farmers started abandoning soil conservation practices. These events laid the groundwork for the severe soil erosion that would cause the Dust Bowl, which took place in the years of the 1930s. This wasn't just one year or one event, this was several years, affecting nearly 100 million acres of land, primarily in Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Kansas, and Colorado. Following the Dust Bowl, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt recommended the Standard State Soil Conservation Districts Act to be signed into law. And the first conservation district was established in North Carolina in 1937. They were established for soil and water management. Today, there are over 3,000 conservation districts across North America, and we have 45 here in Washington State. King Conservation District started in 1949 as the King County Soil Conservation District, pictured here. Conservation districts are unique entities in that they are state agencies, and we are a non-regulatory agency. We work with landowners on a cooperative basis, so we only work with landowners who reach out to us. We are allowed to take resources and put them towards better land management, soil conservation, water conservation, and strengthening food systems. Here is a picture of KCD's service area. As you can see, we cover a wide geographic range, and it looks like King County. The reason we get confused with being a King County agency is we serve the same King County area, except for 5 areas, which are shown in the pinkish purple color, and those are Federal Way, Milton, Pacific, Enumclaw, and Skykomish. They're all outside of our service area. When legislation was adopted to form KCD, these areas opted out. So please meet our KCD staff. We are one of the larger conservation districts in the state because we serve such a large area with diverse ecosystems and a large population. We currently have 28 staff members. We have AmeriCorps members like myself that work on various projects, And we also have 3 Washington conservation crews that do the work planting and maintaining our restoration sites. We'll talk about them a little bit more later. Our organization is overseen by a board of 5 supervisors. 2 are appointed by the Washington Conservation Commission, and 3 are elected by voters of King County, which, if you didn't already know, we are currently having our election for one of our board members. You can go to kingcd.org for more information. As for funding, our programs and services are mostly funded through a rates and charges fee applied to all parcels in our service area, which is not based on land value, but land use. So we have our board and we have our funding, and together we work to help the people of King County manage their natural resources. How do we do that? By following our beacon of a mission. So KCD's mission is to promote the sustainable use of natural resources through responsible stewardship. We offer a wide variety of programs and services all focused on supporting our mission. What are these programs? Here we are. Soil testing, rural agriculture, community agriculture, freshwater and marine shorelines, urban and rural forestry, and education, all working towards better soils, better food, better backyards, better water, better forests, better communities, and better ground. So let's start with soil testing. Our soil testing program is how most cooperators first learn about us. Most conservation districts offer soil testing and provide information for that. At KCD, we offer 5 free soil tests per ownership of a land parcel. For example, if you own a piece of land, have it tested twice, and then sell it, and buy a new piece of property, you have 5 new free soil tests for the new property, and the new owner of your old property will still have 5 free soil tests as well. All right, moving on. We have a rural agriculture program. So when most people think of conservation districts, they think of farms and farm planning and rural agriculture. And traditionally, this has been a huge part of what conservation districts do. Here you can see one of our senior farm planners dumping manure into our farm spreader, which is a piece of equipment KCD has available for loan. We also have farm planners that go out and work with farms to prioritize soil and water health. We can help recommend best practices, educate them, and at times provide funding for them. We have a cost share program called the Landowner Incentives Program, LIP for short, that depending on the practice will reimburse the landowner at a specific amount. So the rural agriculture program is a big part of what we do at KCD. Oh, in addition to the manure spreader, we have other equipment like a poultry processor and a weed ranch available for loan. The next program is our community agriculture program. This program works to address food security and provides technical assistance, grant money, education, and workshops in gardens that are meant for the community. So these are not individual gardens, but places where you can grow food and culturally relevant food. We've done a lot of work with immigrant and refugee family farmers and gardeners, making sure that they have access to grow the food that they know, love, and want. And this includes raising culturally relevant seed starts. This also involves getting gardens established, especially in urban communities. There are big, complicated barriers to getting that process started sometimes. So our program works to supporting community spaces such as places of worship, institutions, schools, nursing homes, and residential communities so that they can get growing space so they can access fresh local food. And we prioritize our work in areas that are food insecure. Now we have our freshwater and marine shorelines program. On the left, you can see a picture of this creek covered with Himalayan blackberry. You can hardly see it. And on the right, you can see how there are all these small plantings and it's heavily mulched. That creek is now, over time, going to have a great canopy of native plants over the water, keeping the water clean and cool and very nice for our fish. This is an example of what our Washington Conservation Corps crews are doing. Also, based on the name of this program, we also do work on marine shorelines, where we do heavy lifting to remove bulkheads to improve beach and shoreline habitat. So then we have our urban and rural forestry program. Our urban forestry work is generally done on a larger scale, partnering with our jurisdictions. Within the 34 cities we are serving in King County, each one has done an urban forestry project. Rural forestry works more one-on-one with landowners, particularly with properties in the 1 to 5 acre size. We help landowners build healthy forests by seeing what sites need, removing invasive plants, planting a diverse structure of native trees, and integrating wildlife habitat. It's really a great program where foresters can go out and work with landowners to do work that otherwise would not be done on such a small scale. Also, as wildfires are an increasing threat across the region, KCD has expanded its rural forest health management services to provide a range of wildfire resiliency services to help homeowners and communities prepare for wildfire. And then we have our education programs, which are an extension of all of our work, making sure people are aware of the issues and aware of the actions they can take to improve soil and water conservation. This is an image at one of our farm tours. Farm tours are a great way for landowners themselves to showcase the work that has been done on their property and share this with their community and people around, and talk about what's going well, what can be improved, and why they see a value in what we KCD offer. Our education programs is another first point of contact for folks to find and interact with KCD, making them aware of what is possible and what we can offer. And then maybe they'll reach out to us and see if we can get someone out to survey their property or do a conservation plan. So that is the bulk of KCD's programs. So let's talk about our events. We have a lot of outreach events where we try to let people know about the great services we provide here at KCD, because conservation districts sometimes kind of fly under the radar. So we, as you know, might know, go to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show. We'll be there again this year. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. We go to the King County Fair. We have our native bare root plant sale and community fair. It's going to be March 14th this year. And by volunteering at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show, you will receive some plant credits, which we'll explain a little bit in a minute. We go to the Vashon Sheepdog Classic. We're at farmers markets. We're at Chomp, and we're at other fairs and festivals. So now's the moment you've all been waiting for. Time to explore the Northwest Flower and Garden Show. This year's theme for the Northwest Flower and Garden Show is Spring Fever. So what is KCD going to be bringing to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show? We are going to be bringing an orca recovery garden and booth. A couple years ago, the conservation districts around Puget Sound came together because a stream or a wildfire, they don't stop at conservation district boundaries. Coming together, the conservation districts host Orca Recovery Day, which takes place in October and encourages residents to get involved. Last year, we had over 70 events throughout the region. So our Orca Recovery Garden is going to show land management practices that support orcas. We have kind of in this frame to the right, upper corner is more heavily managed land. The cool red shapes, those are going to be canoes with edible plants. And then moving to the left is going to be more of a natural rain garden area. This is the trailer that we're going to have on that property as well. It's adorable. We're very excited about it. And then we also have some compost bins that we'll be assembling to show different ways, because we encourage composting. All right, so we're also going to have a lot of fun at our booth. Here's a picture of how we sometimes set up our booth with happy people. We'll have an activity front and center. This is an example of a pollinator display. This year, we're actually going to be doing a native plant guessing game. So if you're great at native plant ID, awesome. And if not, don't worry, we'll have a cheat sheet for you. So this is just an image to kind of give you an idea of what our tabling setup kind of looks like. Tablecloth, banners, fun activities, information, including those soil test tokens that I mentioned earlier. So next steps, we'll be sending you a follow-up email tomorrow with dates and times that you can sign up for. So please watch your email, we'll send that out. Shifts are 3 hours, so in exchange for your 3-hour shift, you get free admission to the show that day, and you get a $25 plant credit that you get to use at the KCD Plant sale on March 14th. And you can either use it as a walk-up day of on March 14th, or if you would prefer, you could use it to pre-order plants at our next year's plant sale. So you get to decide. So let's see. Once we get your sign-up information and receive wristbands from the Northwest Flower and Garden Show, we will send them to you along with additional information. Tonight was just a general orientation and info session. We will also have additional information cards at the booth. So we really appreciate your time and interest, and we will be supporting you as you help us with our booth at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show. So thank you very much for joining us this evening and for your interest in resource conservation. Here is our contact information. Mark has been joining us this whole time as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them up in the chat box if Mark hasn't answered them already, or feel free to reach out to us. And always feel free to ask more questions or reach out if anything in particular comes out. So thank you so very much for joining us this evening, and I hope to, we'll be sending out the email tomorrow, and then I hope to hear from you soon and that you'll be joining us. So the dates are February 26th through March 1st. And thank you very much. Does anyone have questions? All right, if no one has questions, I'll just put up the contact information one more time if you do come up with anything. Otherwise, when we send out the email tomorrow, feel free to reach out to us then. All right, thank you all so very much, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.